What's up, you guys? Back for the next installment. It's your boy Shock. Today, back at you with another Crimson Rampage reveals. Today we got to get through a lot of names. The provisional showdown's been taking my time. A lot of new projects that I got coming down the pipe have been taking my time. We have some new stuff to get to, but for today, we're going to be going through almost every character that I missed so far. Strap in, we're going to have to get through a lot. First up, we have Gran Torino. He sports a 6-card hand size, 26 life in the bank. He is on the air, good, and void symbols, some very strong symbols, and you're going to see some similarities to he who shall not be named in just a second. Let's get to that response. Destroy one foundation. After your charge, fury, or kick attack is blocked, build it face down, committed, playable while committed. So just take a note, there is no restriction on how many times you can play that per turn. Every time one of your attacks, there's a charge, fury, or kick, is blocked, you can build that even if Gran Torino's committed. So you're going to be clearing your card pool, keeping the aggression on your opponent. Now, just look at that kick, void, a lot of Ida attacks right there. All of them pretty much, you know, high engine kick, all that stuff you're going to be able to use. So Gran Torino has access to some devastating aggression. I can't wait to see that deck built. Then he also has Enhance. Commit this card, discard one card. That is the cost. Then we can add one face down foundation to your hand. Your rival discards one card. So thinking about that also aggressively, you know, you can pick up these attacks that you're continuously filling into your stage, using them as foundations, but then you can pick them up and use them for aggression, also discarding one potential block your opponent has in their hand, turning a 6-hander into a 5, a 5-hander into a 4. That is pretty dope for a card like Gran Torino, who wants to not only hit you with an attack once per turn, he then is gonna build it, put it back in his hand, and hit you with it again. So you're gonna have to really play defensively intelligent when you play against a character like this. Now, just noting, Gran Torino is the first card in the set, so he will have a full gamut of support. However, one of his foundations is First Impressions. It is a 2 difficulty with a 5 control check. Very nice numbers there. It is a 3 low block modifier, like seeing that. Now, getting to that effect, First Enhance. Flip this card face down. If this is your first attack this combat phase, it gets +3 damage. If it is blocked, your next attack gets +3 speed. So you just see that goes perfectly with the actual character card. You're flipping cards face down, so you don't really care if you destroy them for the character's effect, for the character's response, because it's face down anyway. You're replacing it with a face down foundation that is actually an attack, something you actually want to pick up. Now, it also is giving +3 speed to your next attack, +3 damage to your first attack. When you give that +3 damage, you make your opponent want to block. But that next attack, that's going to be +3 speed, you make it harder for them to block. Just going into the actual gameplay loop that you want to play. The card fits perfectly in there, and just to have this splashed in to other decks, +3 damage to one attack, +3 speed to the next, that's pretty dope. Now, next up, we have Fuma Kage himself, Tokoyami. He is sporting some new looks this time. He's traded out the fire symbol for the air symbol. He is now a 6-hander with 27 life in the bank. He has the effects Enhance. Once per turn, discard one card from your card pool, add one ally from your discard pile to your card pool, playable while committed. So you're thinking that if you're gonna string out a series of attacks, you can play that Dark Shadow Ruin, follow it up with Summon Dark Shadow. Your next attack, you can take the Dark Shadow Ruin out of the card pool and put in another Summon Dark Shadow, which doesn't count toward progressive difficulty after Dark Shadow Ruin's effect is already gone off. So there are some different combos there. Not being able to bring back that Summon Dark Shadow from the grave is gonna be very interesting. I don't think it's gonna be very easy for him to be as aggressive as the first Tokoyami at all. However, let's get into that second Enhance. Enhance, commit this card. Ready 2 ally foundations that have not been ready this combat phase. Now, there are only 2 ally foundations so far in the game that Tokoyami has access to on these symbols. So you're only gonna have a maximum of 8 foundations in the deck that you could ready with this effect. As with many of these cards, the game is in its early stages. As time goes on, you're gonna see cards get on different resource pools. You're gonna see them get different keyword skills. So Ally is not very strong right now. However, it will get more support later. So this is not the card I wanna play if I'm playing Tokoyami. However, it is very interesting down the line. Now, Tokoyami is also sporting a new foundation, Resting Between Bouts. It is a 2 difficulty with a 5 control check. Now, he has a 3 low block modifier. From experience playing Tokoyami, getting enough low blocks is a bit difficult, so I'm glad to see that. Now, it has response. Commit this card. After you make a check to play a foundation, that check gets +2. So that right there is phenomenal. If you check an attack on a foundation, you just commit this, and it's awesome. That's awesome. That's pretty dope. Now, and it basically turns this foundation into 2 when you're trying to pass foundation checks. Now, you also have enhance. During your rival's turn, destroy this card, add 1 ally card from your card pool to your hand. Now, this is pretty awesome because you always have these cards like Dark Shadow Ruin, Summon Dark Shadow, these cards of aggression that are great at blocking. They're great on the defensive end, but you don't want to use them there because they are the gas that gets you to the finish line. Well, now you can play them as a block and return it to your hand without having to worry too much about it. That is a pretty dope effect. This card is a staple in Tokoyami's, maybe other decks as well, real fast. Now, I was not gonna forget about the man of the hour. DABI himself is now released. We know what he does. Let's get into it. He is a 6-hander with a 28 count life pool, very meta numbers there. He's on the Chaos, Death, and Fire symbols. Some very, very aggressive symbols right there, matching DABI's personality. Let's get into it. Now, he has Enhance. Once per game, remove 10 foundations from your discard pile. Your attack gets +8 damage and gains throw. Your rival may destroy all their ready foundations to cancel this effect. So this is going to be great when you think you have a kill turn and you start the turn by saying, I activate the once per game. Your opponent says, oh snap. Okay, at the beginning of the turn, destroying all the foundations is not going to be tenable, so they're going to have to eat whatever you're throwing at them. And on the death symbol, there are attacks that start out with 8 damage real quick, so you're going to have a lot of aggression, and your opponent's going to be put in a very tight spot when you activate that once per game. Now, first enhance. Your next attack gets +3 damage. First enhance, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So you're going to be kind of thinking about that strategically, maneuvering around so that those two coincide with the attack that you really want to hit on your opponent. DABI's aggression is just undeniable. He's going to be very interesting to see on the tables. Yeah. Now, DABI shows up with a foundation I think best suited for Ochako 2 players. That is a 2 difficulty 6 control check named League Interview. It is a 3 block in the mid-range, standard numbers there. Now it says first form. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Your next check to play an attack gets +1. So first form means the first thing you do when you're not in the enhanced step, instead of playing a foundation or an attack, you can activate this form instead. So you can activate this card before you play anything. That turn, you're going to discard 2 cards. Your next check's going to get +1. Now, when you're running cards that have a 6 difficulty, this is a incredible card to play. It has the 6 check. So if it's not on the board, you might check it and pass a pillar swing anyway. It has the +1. So if it is on the board, you check a foundation on your pillar swing, it passes automatically. So that is pretty dope, all for the cost of milling 2 cards of your deck. Phenomenal. Now we also have response. Flip this card face down. After you make a check to block, that check gets +1. So also on the defensive end, making it easier for you to defend if you need to. This is just an awesome card. It's pretty staple-ish, I would say. Can't wait to play this in Tokoyami or Rakatu, and so many other decks I'm sure could utilize this effect. Now, if you didn't follow the provisional showdown throughout the Saturday, you might have missed Cementos was announced. He is not in Crimson Rampage, however, he is in the Plus Ultra pack that will be coming out after Crimson Rampage. Remember, there's a Plus Ultra pack after every set. Now, he is sporting a 5-card hand size, 31 life in the bank, very sturdy. He's on the air, earth, and void symbols, some symbols that are winning a lot these days. Now, he says you get +1 hand size for every 3 face down foundations in your stage. So it's kind of interesting that we have a card like this. Having 6 face down foundations is not very hard in the game today, so he can get to a 7-hander pretty quickly. However, not having that 7 cards at the beginning of the game, I think hurts him immensely. Now going on, we have enhance. Flip 1 foundation face down, ready 1 face down foundation. So he does create more foundations for himself as long as he's flipping them face down. He also has enhance. Your attack gets +1 damage for every 2 face down foundations in your stage. So Cementos is a character that you really want to be knowledgeable about your opponent's cards, because you want to know what deadlocks are you afraid of. If your opponent doesn't really have a deadlock that's gonna hurt you too bad, you might go into deadlock 1 or 2 cards for a couple of turns and kind of see if you can push the effects of your character as far and as hard as you can push them. Not saying that this is an every game strategy, it is not. Some of these deadlocks will absolutely kill you. However, it is something to have in the back of your mind. Knowledge is king, especially with characters like this. Now, last up, we have a character I did not expect, but you gotta have him because he really kicked off the Hero Killer arc. We have the Pro Hero INGENIUM. Notice that he is one of the 5 promo cards that will be included in the promo packs in the boxes. So to get INGENIUM, you're gonna have to buy boxes, not packs. Now, getting into INGENIUM, he has a 6-hander, 28 life in the bank, standard meta numbers. We got the air symbol, the good symbol, the order symbol, much like an older brother of Ida should be expected to hold. Now we have enhance. Once per turn, your EX or slam attack gets +3 damage. Not a lot of slam attacks in the format to this point. Again, the more time goes on, the better that could be. Now we also have response. Once per turn, after an attack is played, it gets +3 or -3 speed. If it is your attack, each time your rival plays an enhance ability during this attack's enhance step, ready 1 foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. So it's the reverse of Ida 1. Instead of your opponent having to commit a foundation every time they use an enhance, you will be able to ready a foundation every time they use an enhance for this attack. And that's after it just got a speed buff and you're speed nerfing your opponent's attacks as well. So that's pretty dope right there. It is not as good as Ida, I do not believe. However, especially with the symbols that it's on, you don't have access to all the kicks. However, it is an interesting card. It's a cool card to play around with. It's not horrible. It's not, you know, something to throw in the trash. It is a cool card. I like the art. I like a lot of things about it. I'm just, you know, if I'm gonna try to win a tournament, I'm just gonna run Ida. I mean, that's clearly the way. And just one side note about the readying foundations versus committing foundations. Now I always defer to someone smarter than me, someone more experienced than me, someone who has a better pedigree of championships than me on any opinion like this. However, I'm pretty confident most people would agree that if you're trying to shut down your opponent's attack, if you want them to stop doing something, having them commit foundations is much worse than you being able to ready your foundations. I'll let my opponent ready all their foundations in order to get a really lethal attack off. But for me to commit all of my foundations to do the 3 enhances necessary, or 4 enhances, whatever it is, I'd be much more adverse to doing that. So I do think the Ida 1's effect to commit foundations definitely much stronger. And as a thank you for making it this far in the video, I did find this little nugget that I had to scrub through all of the Professional Showdown on Saturday to find this. It is a card, Alleyway Ambush. It will be one of the 5 promo cards in the set. It's going to be a 5 difficulty. You have to imagine a 3 control check, I would think. A 4 high speed, 5 damage, 2 block modifier in the mid range. Now it says something, we cannot see all the text, but I imagine it says if there are at least 5 cards in your card pool, ignore progressive difficulty. There's something along those lines. Or maybe this card ignores progressive difficulty. That's probably what it says. So it's kind of a finisher card after you've played a bunch of attacks, you're exhausted, you know, your opponent thinks that they've taken your best shot, maybe they're tapped out, you play that card that ignores progressive, and you kind of get in their shit a little bit deeper. I like that a lot. If anyone has the full art of the card, please let me know. Hop in my Discord, shoot it to me. I would love to make a video that includes that card as well. Now, I know this video was longer than I usually like to make them, but thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. As always, you know, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, get subscribed, ring the bell so you never miss another video. We got the loyalty program update coming out. We got updates on all kinds of stuff, as well as we are going to start making a little bit long form content, deep dives into the game, and really answer some questions that are teasing the community. I can't wait to start those. Scripts are already being written. Voiceovers are being recorded. We're going in. We're going to get somewhere with these, with some of these interesting nagging questions. But that's all I got. Thanks, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.